You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge. From four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football King Podcast. All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you just heard an intro that was made by artificial intelligence and someone's really sexy voice. We are so happy to see you all again. It has been some months, but the fall is here. The teachers are back at work. Some parts of the country, the students are already back in school, so sorry to be for them. But
Yeah, I think DFW started this week. I'm not sure.
Football is right around the corner. We have 3 weeks until college football kicks off, so we're going to do our first of our 3 college football.
We had the Hall of Fame game.
Previews. We had the Hall of Fame game, so technically
that got called early.
Yeah, preseason football has for the professionals has already began. We will also cover 2 of the divisions of the NFL today, but unfortunately, the first episode that we have the intro play is a lie because there are not 4 of us today. There are only 2 because the twins are unavailable today. But you know what? They'll be around sometime soon. You're in for one heck of a season this year on the Football is King podcast. It is our 3rd season, so we have perfected all of the ways of the podcasting, obviously. And this year, there's going to be lots of new things in the world of football. We've got completely new people in the background of the podcast that have never been standing in the background before. But not only that, we've got new conferences in college football. We've got lots of new exciting things happening in the NFL with new rules and players getting around to new teams, and there could even be trades from teams that we talk about today up until the start of the season. So it could get crazy, and we're here for all that craziness. And you know us. We're going to have lots of strong opinions on things, and we're going to fight about it and talk about it also in a civil manner, and it's going to be great.
Passionately debate.
We will passionately debate. And this is the best time of year as a football fan because no matter how bad your team is, there's hope.
Yeah, you got high hopes right now.
You got hope, right?
You got hopes. You could.
Jonathan could be looking at the Raiders' defensive line and being like, "We're going to win the Super Bowl."
We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Don't have a quarterback,
but reality sets in around week 3.
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh crap,
this is it."
I'm in for a long haul again.
And for those who are new to the program, we're so happy to have you here. A little bit of background information. We're all Texas A&M football fans when it comes to the college football game, but that does not mean that we will not give you an unbiased opinion on all matters.
Schedule right there with wins, losses written down.
And I can already tell you right now, if the NCAA 25 football game is accurate,
you're correct. We're winning a national title.
The Texas A&M Aggies are going to be going undefeated and winning 3 back-to-back national championships with 3 top 5 recruiting classes. So
Mike Elko.
Yeah, Mike Elko is getting it done. So that's where we are at. And actually, that is where I would like for us to start the podcast today. For the first time in many, many, many years, we had a college football video game to pique our interest.
I have a sad story.
Uh-oh. You told me you were going to get it. So
yeah, I don't like where here's the thing. So I went to my house to pick up my PlayStation so I can get the game, right? I went to the house, picked it up, was all excited. This was Sunday. I had to push it off a little bit until this Sunday to get the game. And then I go to pick up my golf clubs, which are at Coffee's house, my buddy Coffee, shout out Coffee. And I tell him, I got my PlayStation. I'm going home. I'm buying it right now. He's been playing it. His dynasty's going good. He's a Texas fan, horns down, but it is what it is. He informs me. This is how little I play video games outside of podcast nights and like long nights by myself. It's not on PS4.
No,
It's
you have
only
to
on
have
PS5.
you have to have a next gen.
I did not know that.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So I still haven't played the game.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I have watched probably 70 hours of YouTube videos on gameplay, Road to Glory. I have it all mapped out in my head. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Well,
Have
don't
not
bother with
got
Road to
play the
Glory.
game
I can tell
yet.
you that right now. You can just leave Road to Glory on
Oh,
the
I'm gonna
back
play it.
burner.
I
Yeah, oh
understand.
yeah. You're
I
gonna
understand.
play it
Don't
for. I
play.
guarantee you're gonna play it for about an hour, and then you're gonna smash a controller because you're gonna be just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. But you know what? I'm still making my way there. Oh, look at that. We got new dogs on the podcast now. That's great times.
Evie's on the podcast.
No, but yeah, the game is a sensation. It's kind of a problem in my opinion because the game has a ton of humongous issues.
The clock running out. I've watched a lot of videos of like people on goal line. They could score a touchdown. They have no timeouts, and then like they like show a replay and the clock runs out.
Nice.
Instead of them able to rush to the line, snap the ball.
Good times.
You literally can't do it. She's a girl.
The game has a lot of issues. It's pretty buggy with some things.
Yeah.
The big thing that everyone will talk about is
no defense.
Well, the running back from Ohio State is literally not able to be tackled.
That's impressive.
He spins like 20 yards. His spin move like covers like 20 yards.
To be fair, isn't he like not likely to get tackled in real life either?
That's true. And Judkins is his last name. I don't know. I don't know what his first name is, but Judkins is his last name. And I'm all for the game being hard to play defense. I actually like that aspect because if you ever watch college football, you will realize that most of the teams actually can't tackle. So it's pretty accurate. It's frustrating sometimes, but it's accurate. But like this guy, that player has already been banned from online competitions because he's just too good.
That's hilarious.
His character is too good. So that's one big thing that has been going. But also, I'm saying if you are playing online NCAA right now, what are you doing? The point of this game is to do Road to Glory and Dynasty. Do not play people online. You are doing Road to Glory and Dynasty only. My problem with the Road to Glory is you spend all the time, even if you start as a lower, or even if you start as a 5-star recruit. As a freshman, you spend all the time and you don't really see the field that much. That makes sense. Freshmen don't necessarily always play. Then sophomore year, you get, like the starting running back job. And then every play that they choose is an RPO. And they never give the running back the ball, even when it's the right decision. So, like, you'll see threads of people who are, like, seniors that, like, are 5-star recruits, and they still don't ever get the ball. So that's kind of frustrating. That's my big gripe with Road to Glory is I'm 2 seasons in, and, like, I was trying to be Reggie Bush in honor of him getting his Heisman back. So I made a guy at USC, and literally they just, like, they'll call an RPO every play, and they just never hand it off to Reggie Bush. So it's just like kind of frustrating to do that.
It's frustrating.
But I have not gone through all the positions. I will say the other thing that's frustrating about that is that you can't pick whatever position you want, because I definitely was going to do a Myles Garrett kind of situation and just dominate.
And cornerback looks unbelievably difficult.
Yeah, cornerback, you have no idea when the ball's coming.
Yeah, that's a very difficult way to play the game. Hey, by the way, this Quinshawn Judkins, at Ohio State is going to be a demigod.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But also, just watch people play with him on that game. It's insane. It's just like
I need to go watch it. But out of curiosity, I looked at his Ole Miss stats because I knew he transferred from there.
Yeah,
Ole Miss passed the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to sling the ball. This man last season had 15 touchdowns, 1,158 yards, and averaged 4.3 yards a carry. Like his freshman year, he had
I'll say
1,567
4.3
yards.
yards per carry in college football is actually not very
He
good.
averaged 5.7 yards his freshman year.
Yeah.
Ole Miss's O-line wasn't great last year.
Yeah.
Like behind Ohio State. That's gonna he's a problem.
I don't know. We're gonna talk about it too, because tonight we will talk about
31 touchdowns in 2 years.
yeah. He's a beast, and if you play with him on Ohio State on NCAA 25, you can get 31 touchdowns in one game
Unstoppable.
because he is unstoppable.
Stop.
So yeah, my big problem is that I hope that the game is improved. They haven't made one of them in a long time. I think the game is still great. It is still super fun to play.
It's what we needed.
Yeah, and it's good. It's great for all of us 30-year-olds that's what we grew up doing. It definitely has some major work, and my big fear, because I have played a lot of video games made by EA, is that because the sales of the game were so good, they're gonna fix nothing. It's gonna just become Madden 2.0. Correct. So that's the big disappointment for me to look forward to next year or whatever. I don't think that the game is going to get any better, and that they're just gonna say people will buy it anyway and do whatever. So hopefully EA is listening, and will decide that they will listen to our infinite wisdom. And yeah, we'll go from there.
I'm happy it's here.
I am happy it's here. I have had a lot of fun with it. It was a great end of my summer before I had to go back to work.
Perfect for the 30-year-old teacher that
exactly
grew up loving football, you know.
I will say, let's get the game out a few weeks or a month earlier would be great, instead of it coming out 2 weeks before I got to go back to work. And I already had a week-long vacation plan, so I haven't really got to put a ton of hours into it yet. So hopefully the updates and things will be good, make the game a little better. But it has been perfect because Sarah has been watching the Olympics and just really enjoying that. And then I moved the second TV into the living room.
Oh yeah, you got to have dude.
So I've been playing college football on one screen, watching the Olympics on the other screen. It's been pretty great.
I'm a huge advocate of every living room needs 2 TVs.
Not permanently, but it needs to have the ability to have a second TV.
No, it needs to look like a sports bar. Let's throw as many TVs on the wall as possible. Like I'm a big advocate of multiple TVs, especially if football season's coming. You know, you got multiple games on at a time. You gotta be able to watch them all.
Yes, but hopefully, ideally, YouTube TV has fixed multi-view.
Yes.
I don't believe it, but I don't think
have YouTube TV. So.
I don't think that they're going to let you choose your 4 favorite games. I think they're going to do exactly what they did last year and have them pre-selected, which is terrible.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue this year, and I was going to wait till the NFL section, but I saw a thing where it was like, if you want to watch every single game, it will cost you $645 or something like that for all the subscriptions that you have to have.
Because all of the Christmas games and stuff are going to be on different things. You're going to have to own every streaming service.
We have Peacock taking over certain games. We have ESPN Plus playing games. We got
I will say on that matter, which we do not support this as a YouTube content creator, but as 30-plus-year-old men, we understand the art of piracy. And the art of piracy is not dead. So if you don't want to spend $600+,
there's ways around it.
There are ways that we do not encourage in any way, shape, or form. But I do feel bad for, like, my grandfather, for example, who lives in the Kansas City area. He lives like an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Kansas City, but technically is not in the market for Kansas City games. So he has to pay out of market prices to stream and all that stuff. And then, like, of course, Kansas City is the Christmas Day game again.
Yep.
So he's got to go buy whatever streaming service is doing it. It's not Peacock. I don't remember who it was this year they got it. But last year he had to pay for Peacock, which the paying for it is not the problem because you can cancel it after a month or whatever. It's teaching the old person how to get to Peacock, especially when you don't live in the same state as they do. So you're doing it over the phone or whatever.
Listen, they've been using the same remote for 50 years. Quit changing it on them. They don't like change.
I mean, yeah, just getting him now. I think he's on my parents' YouTube TV instead of DirecTV.
Oh,
that was a whole thing. So
that's an adjustment.
But he's doing well.
No more dish.
He's doing well. And actually, he sometimes is a listener of the podcast. So, Grandpa, if you are listening, you are doing great. Right, but I am very sorry that the NFL keeps making you pay all these extra things.
Look, I'm an old soul. I wish it was just one TV network carrying all the games. I really
you gotta have at least two or three because I want multiple games on at the same time.
Okay, what I mean is like I wish I could just have Dish again or what was the DirecTV?
Yeah, give it.
And I wish it was just like plug it in, like push power, change the channels, boom.
Yeah,
multiple TVs, boom, done.
Give it some years, it'll be back. Disney will own all of them, and they'll bundle it in one big thing, and it'll be a joy. And it'll also cost you like twice as much as did.
So yeah, I mean the ticket price by itself is ridiculous. So,
all right, let's talk about the Big Ten. That's the first of our two conferences we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about the Big Ten and the Big 12 today. And then next week, we will discuss the ACC, and we'll save the big kahuna, the SEC, for our last week of preseason.
All right. Well, let's talk about the let's talk about the NFL of college football.
Yeah. So, but we'll wait till we have a full barn for that one because Blake is on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and Shane should be available for that week as well because I know, and for those of you that are new here, sometimes our podcasts do go a little long because we are very passionate and we have so much wisdom to share, as stated in our new lovely intro. When we get talking about the SEC, just brace yourself. That one might be a podcast that you need to listen to in chunks.
Yeah, you may have to come back.
Sometimes we might record them in chunks because it's a lot sometimes, but it'll be good.
Out there.
I promise you it'll be good. And A&M will be a big chunk of that, but we've got some new people, and I guarantee you, even though A&M is one of the newest teams in the SEC, we have embraced
the old heads now, dude.
We have embraced the SEC tradition, and we are not happy about the changes. So
no, we don't like the changes.
We will discuss. But today we're talking about the Big Ten, current champions of the college football world after Michigan cheated their way into
They may get it taken.
No, I was all the things I've seen is that it is actually like impossible for them to take it away from them. But you know who's going to get away scot-free? Jim Harbaugh somehow. He not get in trouble at all.
He gone. He left for a reason.
Yeah, we're throwing away the new. I can never say his first name. His last name is Moore. What's his first name? The Michigan coach.
Starts
with an S.
I'd have to look it up.
I don't know, but they're always throwing him under the bus, and he's getting indicted again. So what a bummer. So he'll.
Man, some of the texts that come out of the Connor Stallion thing, though, is crazy.
He's going to end up getting suspended for the first 3 or 4 games again, and it's just going to be a nightmare. But the Big Ten is also undergoing the same thing the SEC is, and the ACC, and pretty much all the conferences. We have a huge realignment, and I think it's going to feel very, very wrong at the beginning of the season. To all of our college football purists out there, it will feel very wrong. However, I think we're going to get some really good games, especially out of the Big Ten compared to normal, that people will embrace it because it's going to be way better than having to watch Wisconsin versus Minnesota because that 100%. Game is always terrible. So now even watching, USC versus Minnesota will be more exciting. It's going to feel wrong, but it'll be more exciting.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to get used to Oregon,
Yeah.
USC.
And I love that a lot of people are like, oh, these teams from the Pac-12, some of them are just going to walk in and dominate. And
no.
I think they're in for some wake-up calls. I think Oregon obviously is in the top 3 or 4 teams in the Big Ten and could beat anybody. I don't know. A few years ago, they went to Ohio State week 1 and beat them at Ohio State. So, I mean, they can win some games over there.
USC has a really tough first game. So
I mean, yeah, USC can't play defense still.
yeah, I mean USC is playing LSU right off the bat. So let's see how that goes. And
Washington lost basically their whole team, so I don't know if they'll be any good.
The whole program,
Yeah.
coach and everything.
Yeah, so I think it'll still be business as usual with the big people at the top. Yes. And Ohio State and Michigan. Well, Michigan also lost a lot, so we'll see how. And Michigan's schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
Their schedule is insane.
Having to play Texas that early, and then the rest of your season is a rough go.
Yeah.
Not great.
But the biggest thing that I actually do enjoy that the Big Ten did, they have gotten rid of the East-West divisions.
Thank you.
So we no longer have to watch Iowa in the Big Ten championship game just because the Big Ten West was terrible. So it's just going to be the top 2 teams make the championship game. I do think that is going to be interesting and cause some chaos. I think we're going to have a lot less debate about which teams make the college football playoff, but now we're going to have a lot bigger debate on which teams make their conference championship games because of the way that everything's getting divided, because none of the conferences have a set plan where the strength of schedule is equal. It's not even close.
It's just it is. We get rid of the divisions, but people have been calling for it for so long for that, because it's going to be Michigan and Ohio State. Well, I hate to say it, but the chances are it ain't going to be Michigan and Ohio State playing for the Big Ten. It's probably going to be Oregon and Ohio State now. And so, but we're going to get some repeat games. And we could have a matter of fact, with the way the playoff is set up, we could see a three-peat. We could see 3 games in one setting,
I hope not. I hope that does not happen.
Dude, I think it's going to happen. I keep looking at it, and I'm like,
I hope it doesn't happen.
Might happen. It'll
happen. It'll happen eventually.
It will happen eventually, for sure. But it may not be 2 big schools like Oregon, Ohio State, but you may end up seeing a Big Ten conference champ or a Big 12 conference champ playing the second seeded Big 12 team or whatever.
Yeah, the way I see it happening that's most realistic is Georgia, Alabama. So Georgia goes into the SEC. Sorry, they play each other sometime during the year. Georgia beats Alabama. Then they play each other in the SEC championship game. Alabama beats Georgia.
And then we have
and they are both 1-loss teams, so they're definitely making the 12-team playoff.
Yes.
And then they both make it to the national championship game and play each other again.
And then looking at a 3-game.
I just don't want to see that.
It's hard enough to beat someone twice.
Or if we do see it, it needs to happen that way. It needs to be
national title.
It needs to be that they both won every other football game that year, and they just split the first time. I don't want to see Georgia has already beat the pants off of Alabama twice, but Alabama has played well against everybody else, and then because the SEC is the best conference in football, they won all their playoff games, even though they were the 12 seed. And then they played Georgia again, and then Georgia beats them again. I don't want to see a team beat another team 3 times because that's just not exciting.
It'd be rough. All right, so Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Did you see Northwestern's essentially playing at a high school for the next 2 years?
I did not see that, but
Yeah,
I mean, their stadium still probably won't be full.
Their stadium is – no, I mean, when I say high school, it's not like a Texas high school. It's an Illinois high school.
Still probably won't be full.
It maybe seats 1,000 to 2,000 people. It's bad.
Northwestern is known for their academics, okay? They're the Vanderbilt of the Big Ten.
Yes.
Looking at some of the schedules of these teams, the Big Ten on purpose scheduled a difficult non-conference this year.
Yeah, that was weird. Michigan actually plays someone outside of conference.
And it seems like a huge mistake, like with all the things going on, specifically with Michigan.
Conference schedule, you're going to play – you're finally going to play a hard non-conference. Yeah. For years, we've been begging Michigan to actually play competition.
I was going to say, but the teams at the top that are smart, like, didn't. So, like, Ohio State plays nobody.
Yeah.
Oregon doesn't really play anybody unless Oregon State happens to be good again. But, yeah, that's why they're the favorites. The third favorite, actually, out of the Big Ten is Penn State, which I also just assume is because Penn State didn't schedule anybody.
Stop. Sorry, my dogs are going to war here.
There you go. They're getting excited for football season. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's all over a big red bone. Penn State, I mean, what it looks like is they're going to be good, but it's hard with these conferences now, man. There's just so much competition to weed through. Like, you can't drop a few games here and there. Like, you just can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. This will be the first year of the 12-team playoff. They're going to set a precedent on how many losses you're allowed to have.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a big name school.
I want to know.
We just don't know going in. Like, how many losses do you get?
Like, are we punishing the loser of the conference championship? Like if I go to the conference championship, so say I'm Penn State, or no, it's a better example. Say I am Oregon. I have 2 losses, and one of those is the conference championship. I lose to Ohio State. Outside of that, I dropped a game somewhere in conference. Say Penn State beats me. I get to the conference championship, lose to Ohio State. So now I have 2 losses. So if Penn State has 3 losses, or let's say Penn State has 2 losses, but their win over Oregon, but they didn't play last week for the conference championship.
Yeah.
Like, are we punishing Oregon for 2 losses, one of which is to, say, the third best team in the conference? Are we saying, okay, well, you can't be you don't get to bye because you lost the conference championship. Penn State is now going to be a 5 seed. Are we saying Oregon's now like a 6 seed? Like, are we punishing people for playing in the conference championship, or should we just be like, hey, I want to be a 2-loss team. I don't want to play that week because the bye doesn't really matter to me. Like, you know what I mean? I could see a world where it could be a problem.
I do know what you mean. I do think it will be a problem. Personally, my rule that I would like, if you have 3 losses, you're not allowed in. Sorry.
See, but
because we can't have a national champion have 3 losses. Sorry, you can't have 3 losses.
I have an issue with that.
No, the best of the best doesn't.
I don't think there should be any automatic bids. Is what I think it should be. I don't care about the mid-level, mid-major school, like I don't need to see Eastern Carolina like in there just because they won their conference. Like I don't care. Like give me the 12 or give me the best schools.
Yeah.
Like
I want the 12 best teams. And it could be James Madison. James Madison could be the 12th best team. I don't care.
It could.
I do want the 12 best teams, but
I want the 12 best teams. It's a little hard to say I don't want to see anyone with 3 losses. I mean, Alabama could go in there with 3 losses and win a national title.
That's what I don't want, though, because I want the best team and resume put together. Because if you lose 3 times during the season, you might have been the best team at the end of the season, which is why you won the national championship, but you were not the best team of the year, right? If you look back at the Super Bowl where the Giants beat the Patriots, that the Patriots were 19-0.
Yes.
The Giants were the better team on the day, but they were not the best team in football for the season. They were literally the last seed, and they got hot at the right time. Is that a really cool story? And a lot of people would be like, you're an idiot. That's a great football story. Yes, but in my brain, that's not who I want my champion to be. My champion needs to be one of the best teams. It needs to be a mixture of you are the best team, but you also got,
my
you won the games you need to.
My fear is, I mean, it's how the playoff is set up. You're not getting the best teams.
No,
you're not going to get the best teams. The best team from the ACC is not going to be better than the 3rd best team in the SEC. It's just they're just not.
Yeah,
like
occasionally they will be.
Occasionally they could be, but this year they probably won't be.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like last year with Georgia, Alabama. Georgia misses the playoff, right? Last year. Were they probably the best team? They probably were the best team. They got beat by Alabama. They probably were the best team in football last year. They were unstoppable all season, and then they dropped the SEC game.
I'd say, and so to your point earlier, college football has always punished a team for losing the national or the
conference title.
They have always punished them. So it's just one of those games where if you make it to it,
you better
win, because if not, you will be punished some way, somehow.
I see a world where we're looking at like James Madison, and I'm sitting there going, guys, the 4th best team in the SEC with 4 losses or 3 losses could beat James Madison by 40.
It's possible.
I could see Ole Miss having 3 losses, but their offense would put 50-something points on the board on James Madison, and they would curb stomp them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, are we looking for the best team, or are we looking just to I call it woke football. Like, hey, we got to let the small schools be involved. Like, no, we don't. We really don't. But we just don't. Like, I mean, TCU is a great example. Had a good run. Got curb stomped. Skull dragged in the national title game. Like, wasn't even a fun game to watch. Just disgusting. I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Well, we're definitely going to see that, because we're going to see we shouldn't go past 8 for sure, because there's not 12 teams.
No, the drop off on that tier 1 to tier 2 is
there's not 12 teams of equal level at the top, and there will be some slaughters.
I think that first week game in the playoff is going to be brutal. I think some of these small schools are going to get reminded that there's a reason they're not pulling 5 stars out of their back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when we get to the late 3rd quarter and Georgia has subbed in their second string and they're all 5-star recruits, and these kids are just murdering these small schools as backups. It's gonna be
well, we don't have to worry about seeing Georgia because they'll have a bye. So
or Alabama.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna have a bye, so it's not gonna be a problem.
Texas A&M's gonna have a bye. Georgia's playing week 1 of the playoff game.
That's true. Alabama, or not Alabama, Texas A&M will go undefeated, and they will win it all.
Yes.
On that note, in my first year as a dynasty, I could give you, I think, 1,000 guesses on who was the team that got put against me in the national championship game, and you would not get it right.
1,000 guesses,
which makes no sense because there's not 1,000 football teams in college football. But I can't even tell you what conference they're in. I have no idea what conference this football team is in. I gotta look it up now.
Is it South Dakota State?
No.
I think they're still technically Division II. Now I'm intrigued.
They are a member of the American Athletic Conference.
One minute. Let me see if I can guess it out of that conference.
I don't even know enough. Maybe they are the best team out of the American Athletic Conference.
American Athletic Conference.
Doesn't even pop up on ESPN. I cannot find the American Athletic Conference, so that's fun. Oh, wait, no, it's right here. Boom. American Athletic Conference.
This is the old conference. I love how some of these websites don't have their conferences
updated yet.
So
while we are looking for this, I will say
SMU there.
One cool feature of the new college football video game is that you can make custom conferences, so you can like put it back to the way things should be, and like put the Pac-12 back together, put the Big 12 back to how it was back in the day.
Southwestern Conference.
Yeah, you can go all the way and do all the things. So that's fun.
Was it the Florida Atlantic Owls?
It was not. It was the Charlotte 49ers.
No way.
The Charlotte 49ers were against
What year was this?
What? It was my first season.
It was this year. 2025 national title.
Literally the first time I booted up the game, I played the dynasty mode. Charlotte was seeded as the 4 seed in the playoffs, so they got a bye. And then
they won their conference. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah, they won their conference. Then they beat Michigan in the semifinal, and then I beat them in the national championship. And I was like, what is happening?
Charlotte. Shout out Charlotte. Shout out 49ers.
I was super happy because my game before that, I had to play like Georgia or somebody really good, and I barely beat them. And I was like, man, whoever I play in the national championship, Michigan, they're probably going to be impossible to beat. And then Michigan lost, and I played Charlotte. And it was a blowout, and it was great. It was like TCU playing against Georgia. All right. Speaking of conferences that don't matter, we can talk about the Big 12, unless you have anything else to add on the Big 10.
Week 1, I highlighted and wrote notes of all my favorite games.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Week 1 is a good one.
For the Big 10, obviously the LSU, is it LSU Michigan? Who was it? I just saw it. September 1st. Oh, LSU USC. I think that's an interesting game.
For sure.
We got a 6:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC. I think it's going to be an interesting game with what does USC look like with a freshman quarterback and a new defensive coordinator for a full year? Like, what is that game? What do they look like? And then, like, are they are they a team that could come and win the Big Ten?
Yeah,
Like they're going to put points on the board because that's what
they
does.
can't win the Big Ten.
They can't.
The top of the Big Ten schools, they put points on the board too.
Dude, yeah, 100%.
But they also play defense.
I'm intrigued. Well, I mean, we have never seen him with a different defensive coordinator than the one he's had for the past 12 years.
No, because Venables has a head coaching job. Venables is at OU.
Oh, okay, Venables. Okay, but after Venables, I forget his damn name.
It doesn't matter. Their defense is gonna suck because he doesn't coach the defense as the head coach. He pays them no attention.
I'm intrigued by the game. I'm intrigued on if he can repeat the quarterback cycle.
They can definitely beat LSU, but they can't win the Big Ten.
Well, and I think the most interesting part of the LSU matchup here is we're looking at two first-time starting quarterbacks.
Yeah,
we're looking at two quarterbacks that haven't played.
That's why they can beat LSU.
It's such an interesting matchup. I think that one is a crazy matchup for Week 1. That's September 1st.
I don't know if I want my first college football game as a quarterback to be on the road in Death Valley. I think that might be the worst case scenario.
It's like let me get Fresno State.
Yeah, the only good thing about it.
Let me get a weapon.
They will also have a bad quarterback that's, a freshman.
Yeah, but he's playing at home.
Yeah, that's true.
He's playing in his stadium. Let me play Kennesaw State first game as a start. Don't put me in Death Valley. The only other game for the Big Ten that I'm intrigued by Week 1 would be Penn State, West Virginia.
Yeah.
I like that game.
West Virginia's got a quarterback.
West Virginia has a good quarterback. I'm intrigued with West Virginia in general. Like where are we in the rebuild of West Virginia? Like, I'm intrigued by that. I think Penn State could be a sleeper this year in the Big Ten. They seem to be a sleeper every year. They weren't bad. They're just the fourth best team.
Yeah,
the third best team. Every year they're the third. They're the fourth.
They're the third or the fourth, but their thing is they can't win the big game.
No, they can't win the big game.
They never can beat Ohio State. They never can beat Michigan. But
it just sucks for them because
they have to play both of them now.
Yeah.
Because they
I don't think they play them this year. If I remember correctly, I think I overheard it that they do not play.
This could be their year.
They do not play either team this year.
They do play Ohio State, but it's at home.
All right. So
that'll be their whiteout game. That'll be their whiteout game in November, and that'll look awesome. A late November, everyone's in long white sleeves.
See, and they have a pretty favorable schedule.
Yeah, they have USC in California, but USC could be dead by then.
But they don't have Oregon?
They don't have Oregon. They don't have Michigan. Washington should be bad.
You're not having to play the two hardest teams. You're not having to play two of the hardest teams to play.
Yeah. So this might be their year.
I think Penn State's an interesting. I mean, they win
Penn
that
State,
West Virginia game. You could see them 5-0 walking into USC.
Penn State will never be successful because of the curse of Jerry Sandusky. I'm just saying right now, it's never happening. Okay, the curse has been put upon them since that scandal happened, rightfully so. And yeah, they've got cool traditions, except for their mascot looks awful. Like their mascot looks like a child tried to draw a lion.
Whoa, you can't say Penn State and child at the same time.
That's true.
Bad look. It's a bad look.
Yeah, but you can.
Hello, Sarah.
Sorry, I left my charger at school. It's plugged in over there. But thank you. You saved the day. Sarah saved the day today. I left my laptop charger at school, and then I spent about 2 hours working at home afterwards, and my computer was about to die, and we hadn't even started filming the podcast yet. And I was like, "This is a problem.
It's a problem.
I need a USB-C charger," and Sarah had one, so
There we go.
that's good now. My batteries are full.
No.
All right, let's talk about the Big 12 real quick.
12.
No one cares about it anymore. It's the old Pac-12, but with none of the fun teams.
I have a lot of Big 12 schools that I'm intrigued by on week 1, though.
I mean, yeah, because that's just the Big 12 every year. You don't know who's good. And I will say this, the Big 12 does not have quality football most of the time. However, they are fun games to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like anyone can beat anybody.
And we got prime time.
And we got prime time. Oh, I did mean to mention this back on the Big 10 section, but it works with just all of college football. We're going to have good games like every night of the week.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like a 26-day streak in December.
Yeah. We got college football games Friday nights now that matter. Yes. Like we have games that matter. Which, games. Not going to lie, stay in your lane, college football. Friday night is for Friday Night Lights.
For Friday Night Lights
so
for high school.
Stay in your lane. If you want to put a garbage game on Friday night, that's fine.
Austin's going to have to miss it because he has to be at the
Whoa. I'm not going to miss it. I'm just going to be sitting there watching at the game on your phone with YouTube TV on my phone like this.
He's like watching his
We don't miss games.
That's funny.
All right. Tell me about which teams intrigue you.
All right. My first matchup.
Oh, this is just, sorry. They intrigue you for week 1 is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, they intrigue me, but there's also some.
I mean, number 1's got to be Colorado.
Oh, dude. Colorado intrigues me. I'm intrigued.
Because they're gonna do the same thing they did last year, where they're gonna get super hyped when they play teams like North Dakota State, and then they're gonna play one real football team, and they're gonna get their butt kicked.
Well, okay, so North Dakota State and Colorado are on my week 1 must.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be a fun game.
17 D2 national titles.
Yeah,
17. I want to see. Colorado come out and not take it serious. They're like, oh, we're a bunch of 5-stars. We're going to run through them. And North Dakota State, I don't think North Dakota State has a chance to win the game, but I would be intrigued to say that game's close at halftime because Colorado didn't give the respect that they should have.
This is an easy for our gambling aficionados out there. Gamble responsibly, please. The over-under is 58.5. Surely North Dakota State can score points on
Colorado.
On Colorado.
I don't know. Travis Hunter's a baller, dude.
Run the ball.
Just run the ball. Run the ball.
That's how this is how you got to play your over-unders. How many points is the losing team going to get? So can North Dakota State get 21 points against Colorado?
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
So then all that Colorado would need to do to topple that would be to get 38 points.
Yeah, and like on my notes, I have O-line question mark. Like that was the biggest issue last year. Did they actually fix their O-line?
Shedeur Sanders or whatever was streaming the video game and got sacked and was like, this is the most accurate part about the game because my O-line still can't block. Which is exactly what you want out of your quarterback.
Yeah, exactly what you want out of your quarterback. That's going to go over well no matter what. Like, you should definitely call out your O-line. You know, most quarterbacks take a different approach. They usually take their O-line out to dinner.
Yeah, also, don't blame your O-line. Blame your dad.
Yeah.
He's in charge of recruiting and transfer portal.
He's in charge. You
tell him you want some big uglies.
Controversial point here. Dion makes it sexy for the skill guys to come play. But you know what he doesn't do? The big uglies don't want to play for Dion.
And guess what? You win games in the
With
trenches.
the big uglies, bro.
Yeah, you need those
Michigan
big
was a prime example. Michigan took J.J. McCarthy and made him a Heisman contender and national title winner. Like, bro, J.J. McCarthy was not good, but the O-line was nasty. Nasty. So I have questions on Colorado. I personally think Utah walks away here. I think Utah walks away with it. I don't even think it's
I don't know, man. Watch out for
Cam
Kansas.
Rising is back, baby.
Watch out for Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas.
Kansas is a fun football team.
They're a fun football team, but Cam Rising is back and healthy. I think, man, dude. Here's the thing. It's Mike Gundy's moment. This is the moment.
See, my question is not about Oklahoma State as a team. My question is, can we see a running back win the Heisman for the first time in years?
Oh.
With Ollie Gordon or Judkins. Can we see a running back? Because I think looking at
pretty open, there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks out there that are like eye-popping at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that the Big 12 has enough bad teams that Oklahoma State will be better than, that he can get some numbers. Same with Ohio State.
It's Mike Gundy's chance. This is the chance for you to come in and be like, this is our conference now.
Yeah.
OU's gone. I'm here. I'm in. I'm the old head here. I'm gonna go out and do it. But then you still have Kansas State.
And Iowa State.
Them boys in Manhattan, Kansas.
Weird things happen in Ames and Manhattan, let me tell you.
Ames in Manhattan. I do love the fact that I'm gonna be able to be watching a BYU TCU game. Even better. BYU Baylor. Let's have the Baptists versus the Mormons.
That's what I'm saying right there. Just a religious battle. Going to war.
It's what was it? There used to be a holy war game, right? They quit calling it that because it's bad, right? It's bad PR. But yeah, now we got a holy war game. We got a Mormon versus Baptist game. Let's go. And watch out for Arizona. I think Arizona could be interesting in the Big 12.
I think no matter what, the team that makes it out of the Big 12 does not win a playoff game.
No. Not unless okay, wait. They may, because they could find themselves playing one of those small schools again.
Yeah. You just know there's gonna be an upset in the top 12 with a 12-team playoff for the first year.
Yes.
Because it's just they're gonna rig it that way if it's not gonna actually happen. Plus, one of those teams might actually be good. And they're gonna make it to where I guarantee you that committee is gonna look at it and they're gonna pick which team is the most likely to do an upset and which team is most likely to get upset, and they're gonna make a perfect matchup so that happens. And then they're also gonna be like, "Hey, little zebras, why don't you just make sure that happens?"
It's the same thing that happened last year when Alabama and Texas were perfectly placed to where if they both would have won, they would have played in the national title game. We would have had a rematch for the history.
Yeah,
but they both lost. So. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Houston's gonna do anything. Cincinnati. That just is what it is. I would love to sit here and tell all my Texas Tech Red Raider fans, this is y'all's time to just go out and take the conference. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen for you. let's be real.
Maybe in
All your
basketball.
students leave at halftime to go drink in the bars. You guys don't even care about the football team past halftime. So it's just not going to happen.
Hey,
TCU,
in our
guys,
lifetime, Texas Tech, they got their good times.
they do have good
They had the
times.
Michael Crabtree
Michael
catch. They
Crabtree
had their moment.
years, Blake Gideon dropping the ball.
TCU's had their moment recently, so they're good for the next 20 years before.
But TCU has some big name transfers coming in. I mean, who knows? Sonny Dykes may work some magic out again.
I do like Sonny Dykes.
I like Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes, great coach.
It's just taking a step back last year looked real rough. Real rough. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conference, but by week 4, no one will give a shit about the Big 12.
That is probably true. All right, we're going to transition to the NFL side of things. We're lightheanded today, and it's late, and I'm tired because I'm not used to being back at work. So we're going to fly through. We're going to talk about 8 teams of our 32 so that we can be done by week 1 of the NFL season, where the real football begins. But we love all football. I mean,
I got
a high school football game. I have a high school football game to go 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, football will be back, and I will watch my high school whoop up on whoever they play. I know. I'm just saying that the NFL is the best version of football because the players are just better. But
let's be real, though.
College football is great to watch.
High school football is probably the purest version.
No, high school football is atrocious.
I love high school football, dude. I love it.
High school football is gross, but it's still fun to be at. But it's rough. The referees are just so bad.
We're still playing for the love of the game, though, Austin. Love of the game.
Watching some poor junior quarterback just have a guy just wide open and miss him by 5 yards is just.
Let's rephrase it. Really good high school football is fun to watch.
Oh, well, yeah, but my personal favorite, and I was one of these people when I played in football. I played middle school, not high school, though, was just seeing kids out there that the pads are just way too big for them. Like, it's just like the pads are just too big.
That's why I quit. It's why I had to leave. I had to leave the game. I didn't feel the pads.
It's rough life. All right, but today we're going to talk about the AFC and NFC East. We're going to start with the AFC East because this is the division that everyone's talking about the most. So we're trying to get the clicks on the YouTubes. We're just going to talk about the teams real fast. I got 4 things.
AFC?
And then, yeah, okay. If you got anything else to chime in with. But basically, the whole point of this is we think we're better than Vegas, and we actually know we're better than Vegas. So do we think based off of all of the things that have happened since February with these teams, did Vegas pick the correct over-under? Did they set a good line for that team, or is it too easy to go over or go under? And there's only one team to start with in the AFC East, and that's the New York Jets, which always get the most talking about on ESPN during the offseason. And then they're the Jets, so they're never good. But we have Aaron Rodgers' return. Will he recover? Is it okay to be a 41-year-old quarterback with an Achilles injury?
He's actually 22. The ayahuasca reset the clock.
There you go.
Let's go.
And then the biggest question from last year in my brain is their defense actually any good? Because everyone talks about how good their defense is, and then they have games where they play against really bad offenses and they give up a lot of points. Like, is it the coach? Is it like the players don't know how to focus in the games that don't matter? I don't know what it is, but I can't tell if their defense is actually any good. I think if referees actually would call a penalty against Sauce Gardner like they're supposed to, that he wouldn't be very good either, but oh well. In their free agency and like draft and things, they definitely boosted their offensive line and defensive line. Makes sense. Your quarterback got hurt 4 plays into last season. So maybe let's give him some protection instead of getting Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard. Like, let's maybe get some protection. So I had that as their biggest positive. My biggest negative with the Jets is that they still have Robert Saleh as their coach, and he's kind of a doofus. And also that they have a 41-year-old QB that's coming off an Achilles injury is not ideal either. With all that being said, Las Vegas set their line at 9.5 wins.
9.5. Okay, so you're not gonna like it.
I love it already.
I have them at 11, so I'm taking the over.
I haven't gone through the whole schedule yet. Like I usually
that's
do.
what I was just doing. They really don't have that bad of a schedule.
It's mainly I'm looking at the AFC East.
They played the Patriots twice.
Well, yes.
It's convenient.
It looks like the AFC East plays the AFC South.
Correct.
And the NFC West.
Correct.
So not great on the NFC side of the ball. 49ers is a tough game.
That's all. I counted that as a loss.
The Rams is a tough game. I'm not saying that these are ones that they lose.
That's a teeter-totter game for me.
I would put Cardinals as a win.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks as a win. Sure.
Yeah, correct.
So 2-2 maybe out of the NFC.
Especially since you're playing the Seahawks after a bye week too.
Yeah.
So you're
the
like,
AFC South is not really a great division to be playing right now either, though, right? The Texans are a tough team.
Texans are tough. That's an automatic loss. I think Texans are going to be really freaking good.
I agree, unless the injury bug hits them. Yeah. The Colts are a weird team where it's a medium game. They could be great, or they could.
Man, I don't like what's his name, Richardson.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it's not there.
The Jaguars,
poorly coached team too.
The Jaguars, that's a win because
that's a win.
Trevor Lawrence is a bum, and their team is a bum.
High paid though. He's a high paid bum.
He's a high paid bum. He's the highest paid bum actually, and the Titans are trash. So I guess the AFC South.
Yeah, I mean,
but the Texans are a tough game. So
6.5. I
think
you
can lose, and you can lose the Colts. Not 6.5, 9.5.
Oh, 9.5. All right. Well, I have 11 games.
So then, not to mention, not like they're out of conference out of division isn't super easy. It's easy-ish. It's medium, but I mean their division is tough. The Bills could be good. The Dolphins could be good. The Patriots will be bad.
The Patriots are going to be horrible.
The Patriots will be bad.
They're
so there's two, but I mean
they could lose. Call Belichick back.
Yeah, they could. The Jets could easily lose to the Bills or the Dolphins both times.
Yeah, so I counted. So I actually have them losing to the Bills and the Dolphins both times.
Yeah. The Jets would be a team that I do think that Vegas set a really good line with, and they would not be a team that I bet they're over or under. I would stay away. They're a team where if I look at it, I don't see 10 guaranteed wins on their schedule, so they're a stay away team for me. But they are a very interesting team to watch this year.
They're an interesting team. It's all about, is Aaron Rodgers healthy throughout the entire season?
He won't be.
Like, that's my question.
Fun fact, you know who else won't be? Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah, that's not surprising.
Guys that have injury problems, especially at Aaron Rodgers' age, it doesn't get better. It gets worse.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of bro science, and Aaron Rodgers is a bro science guy. So I think his medical research has came a long way here, and I think he's going to be looking mighty tough.
That could all be possible and all be true, and his O-line still might be terrible. So
yeah,
they tried to bolster it up, but that could still be awful. But
it could be still awful, yeah.
I do hope for the sake of the NFL that Aaron Rodgers does not get hurt on play 4 this season.
Oh, God, that's so bad.
All right, let's talk about the next team. That's the Dolphins. So they still have to play the same out of division, right? So still NFC South or NFC West, AFC South. Their defense lost a bunch of big pieces, especially on the defensive line. Christian Wilkins went to the Raiders, so I don't really know. I don't think they have an interior to their defense. I think you could run the ball right up the middle on every play against the Miami Dolphins. They've got a ton of speed on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So that's their thing. Their thing is we will outrun you. But I really think they're going to be too soft, especially the Miami Dolphins kryptonite is playing when it gets cold. Yes. And if your team is already soft and then when it gets cold, you're in trouble. So
and you're playing at Green Bay on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold.
I didn't actually pay attention. Do they play Buffalo in December?
They play Buffalo in November.
Okay, so still cold, but not that bad.
They're luckily, like, their real cold games are Cleveland. The Jets are playing outside still, Russ?
Yes.
So yeah, they're playing the Jets on the 5th of the first week of the year.
I was going to say,
like, that's going to be a cold game.
Packers, Jets, Browns, Jets.
Yes.
Oh, wait, sorry. The first Jets game is in Miami, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But no matter what, they're bad in the month of December, even when it's at home. Yeah. Like, and this team is historically bad at the end of the season. And once again, the Dolphins' end of schedule is brutal. Starting in week 8.
Having to play Houston and 49ers back-to-back sucks.
Their last 6 games are at Green Bay, New York, and Miami, at the Texans, against the Niners, at Cleveland, at the Jets.
Yes.
Like those last 6 games could be killer.
You forgot that they have to play the Raiders 2 weeks before Green Bay.
Yeah, but it's in Miami, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, but the Raiders are Super Bowl winners this year.
That's true. The Raiders the Raiders defensive line could kill Tua. Because
Tua might actually die.
They didn't fix their offensive line.
No.
So that's not a problem.
The poor kid is going to be getting hit left and right.
Yeah.
And he plays against some teams here that have some monsters on the defensive line.
Yeah, but they've got the speed. We're going to see if it's enough. We're going to see if their coach is, everything that the media wants him to be.
Back. Oh, you have a Bosa brother game and then Myles Garrett?
Not ideal.
Oh, damn, that's rough.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, it's not like the Texans defense.
No,
and the Jets, let's see, the Jets have what? Hassan Reddick? The Jets have Hassan Reddick, Myles Garrett with the Browns, Bosa with the 49ers, and Will Anderson with the Texans. Oh. And then Hassan Reddick the week before that.
And the week after. That's rough.
And then what? The Packers, do they still have one of the Smiths?
I don't know.
I don't know. But let's say the Packers is the Packers is the easy week for your tackles. I mean, the Patriots are terrible.
Yeah.
But Matthew Judon is a monster.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, you've got the Raiders. So you got Max Crosby,
the best defensive line in the country by far.
Yeah.
Defense is not a problem there.
I'm gonna say
they're just gonna have to play a lot.
I'm gonna say, looking at the schedule, the Dolphins, they're a sneaky under team.
Yeah. And what's the over under here?
It's 9.5, just like the Bills.
Ooh, no, I don't have 9.5. I'm taking under.
And you can probably get really good value with it if you think that they're going to be terrible at the end of the year, because they're probably going to win their first couple of games.
Yeah.
And so then you can get better odds at that 9.5. Or that number could go up. So that might be a game that maybe you wait on, and then it's like, hey, they've won a couple. Now we'll take it under 10 or whatever, under 10.5.
Like, I'm looking at it at first glance, like when I first pulled it up, I was thinking 8, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like you could plug and play almost any quarterback and you get the same outcome there. Like, I
don't know.
don't think
It's
Tua
got you gotta have a guy with a quick trigger who throws that perfect medium ball.
Yeah, but you could take Trevor Lawrence and do that.
You could, but you couldn't take Josh Allen and do it.
You couldn't take Josh Allen. No. But like I
Or
really think I don't trust Tua.
I don't trust Tua to stay healthy for sure.
Boy, and it's just like it makes no sense. Let's surround him with all this speed, but he can't throw the ball past 30 yards.
Yeah, and
Like,
I don't trust Waddle to stay healthy. I
No.
don't trust Ramsey to stay healthy. Like they've got a bunch of guys that have injury
issues.
histories, and so not an ideal situation for the Finns. All right, let's talk about the team that will probably actually win the AFC East, and that's probably the Buffalo Bills because that's just what they do.
I thought you were going to say the Patriots.
No, definitely not. Even though the Bills do not have a wide receiver. I mean, Keon Coleman or whatever from Florida State is a hilarious guy, and I can't wait for all of his interviews this year. And is probably decent, but I don't know if he'll be enough. I would say that even though the Bills are favorites to win this division, I don't think McDermott makes it out of this year with a job.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think he finally gets fired.
I have questions. You know, you got rid of your best wide receiver. Like your number one target's gone.
You also split up your safety duo.
Yeah.
So Hamlin's got to play.
Yeah. Oh, Hamlin. Good times.
DeMar will be back.
DeMar, I swear, dude, if you freaking do any crazy shit and get a game canceled, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't know. Josh Allen's just the best quarterback in
He's
this
good.
division, so
He's good.
I don't want to discount the Bills, but I am actively rooting for their demise.
I mean, really, really, really tough schedule from in November to December. Like,
Yeah.
not great.
Well, they get the Patriots twice.
Yeah, in the later part of the year, but having Chiefs, San Francisco, Rams, Detroit.
Yeah.
That's a run right there. That's a hard run. I mean, you're looking at Detroit's an up and up team, man. Like they can play both sides of the ball. You better block really well because Detroit likes to get nasty. And Kansas City, you know, they're done put on points on you. They're done freaking kill you.
We'll see. We couldn't score last year, but
yeah, but you do it. You
this year we should. Games. This year we should be able to score.
You should be able to score this year.
Yeah, should be.
Let's see.
An interesting
Baltimore. You got to play Baltimore.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. The Bills were the winners of their division last year, so they got to play all the division winners this year. So they got to play Baltimore, they got to play Kansas City. So that aspect of it
makes it. What's their over under here?
It's 10.5.
Oh.
So I think they're another one of my stay away teams.
Yeah,
I'm not quite ready to bet. I'm definitely not willing to bet they're over because their division is too good. Their division is too good to be winning 11 or 12 games. Easily, to where they're easily winning 11, 12 games.
I have like 7 guarantee games that I would say should be wins. Everything else, I wouldn't want to touch it. Like I'm not touching Houston, Baltimore, Kansas City, San Francisco, Detroit.
Yeah, all fair.
I'm not touching those. There's no way.
So yeah, this is another one of my stay away teams. But the AFC East is my favorite division to watch. I think this year, besides the AFC North, the AFC North is always the best division to watch in football because they're like the Big 12. Everyone beats everybody, and they play old school traditional NFL football, which I
brutal Brutal conference.
All right, let's very briefly talk about the New England Patriots. They have a new coach. They hired the greatest, they fired the greatest coach of all time. They've got a rookie quarterback.
Drake May, baby.
They have
Best quarterback out of this draft class. Calling it right now.
Yeah, rookie quarterback, rookie coach. They have very low expectations, which is why
Could be something.
Las Vegas says their over-under is only 4.5 games.
I'll take the over here. I'll take the over. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe. I'll take the over.
You only got to 2 yeses and 3 maybes.
Yeah, my babies here are sitting at like Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Chicago.
Yeah.
I'll take Indianapolis. I'll take the over. I'll take the over here. I need to see Chicago play before I can say yes or no.
Yeah, I think Chicago is going to be one of those teams that I'm pretty sure.
Unpredictable.
I haven't done enough research on them yet because we're not discussing them this week, but I'm pretty
Offensive
sure
powerhouse.
Chicago is going to be my biggest lock for under because they played really well at the end of last season.
Yes.
They were playing great at the end of last season, and now everyone was like, their defense is set. All they need is a quarterback. And so...
Well, they didn't even just get a quarterback. Their offense is set with freaking ballers, dude.
Yeah, and I'm still maybe going to be hammering them.
But I will be the first to say I am the biggest Caleb Williams hater. I can't stand him.
And as much as you hate Caleb Williams, I hate Matt Eberflus.
He paints his fingernails. He cries to his mom in the stands. Like, nope. He has to have his signing bonus sent to his LLC so he could try to not pay taxes.
Yeah,
which that's
just smart
tax
business.
Evasion. It's good business, but it's tax evasion. But yeah, I'm just not a Caleb Williams guy, man. So I need to see them play before I can say the Patriots, Drake May's tearing up the Bears.
There you go.
On the 10th of November.
All right. Those in the podcasting streets would tell me that this is terrible advice and that they should be at the beginning so that we get people to join. But let's talk about America's team now. We're going to move to the NFC East side of the ball. And they are also, just like the Jets, one of the most heavily talked about teams over the offseason because this offseason in particular has been atrocious.
They are so bad.
They've got no fans at any of their preseason activities. They don't have any of their big name people under contract past this season. So we got Dak on the chopping block, which he is going to become the highest paid quarterback. He'll be the first quarterback to hit 60 million.
He said he doesn't play football for money.
He doesn't, but he will get paid the most. CeeDee Lamb, which last time I checked, I thought CeeDee had agreed a deal, but apparently that didn't happen.
But it never got finalized.
Like, yeah, I remember texting that in the group chat and being like, "Y'all, CeeDee got paid," and then
it was a big number that came.
Yeah, Micah Parsons,
he gone.
Is he even up? Is he even up for his deal yet? Has he been in the league 4 years now?
Yes. I believe he was I think he's franchise tagged.
No, he has not been. They would have picked up his 5th-year option first.
Oh yeah,
there's no way he's been in the league for 6.
Let's see. I'll Google it real quick.
So they got to figure out, who do you pay? Do you pay Dak $60 million? Do you pay CeeDee the $35 million a year he wanted? Do you pay Micah whatever is the going rate for edge rushers? Also, do you pay Big Mike? Like, the coach isn't even under contract, so they've got some issues. However, that being said, if all of their players play, they win 12 games every year, no matter what. So I don't know
But
what.
Michael Parsons is under contract until this year. The team can pick up his option for next year.
That's what I'm saying. Why are that's the thing that I haven't understood.
They're going to have
From
to pay
all
him $21 million next year if they pick it up.
That's yeah. I mean, that's fine. That's what I haven't understood from the evil Mickey Mouse Corporation at ESPN.
Dude,
Why are they
so
worrying?
bad at covering.
Why are they worrying about Micah's contract right now? Don't worry about Micah. Pay his 5th-year option.
I think it's a visual
Next year
thing
is
where it's
Micah.
like if they lose Dak, like does Micah just basically say, I want to go somewhere else?
Yeah,
Is
but the
he
thing
forced
is,
to trade out? Like,
there's a strong chance that they don't lose Dak. There's just a strong chance they have to overpay Dak.
yes.
Dak has been very clear that he would stay in Dallas. He's just, I mean, if Dak signs a deal with Dallas before hitting free agency, he is a moron.
Yeah, because he could easily go out, get these massive deals, and come back to Dallas and be like, I'll leave.
Match it. Yeah.
I'll leave.
Which I think is what Jerry will do. I think that Jerry will match up to a number.
Up to I mean,
so yeah, that's I don't know.
What's he gonna do? Play Trey Lance?
Yeah, they really love Trey Lance in Dallas.
They do. But I will say, as a Dallas native for the past 12 years, the pulse around the city is not the same.
No. I can never remember what the name of that stupid morning radio show is.
Oh, The Ticket.
I would love to be listening to The Ticket on a daily basis.
It's not the same right now.
There's
not a whole lot of love for Dak.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of love
Which
for
is fair. There shouldn't there I finally on my side of that is that the Dallas fans are starting to see that Micah is not
He's
the
garbage.
player.
He's
not garbage.
One move. One move. He pins his ears back and he runs as fast as he can.
It's not even that. Micah only plays well against bad offensive tackles. If he plays anyone that's medium or better, it's just like whatever. But he's just such a freak athlete that it's hard to. He's not bad. He's good. He's ridiculous.
The second half of last season, he did not look good.
But he doesn't have it up here.
No.
He's insane. He's got Kanye disease. He thinks that he is a god. And it's just like, dude, you listen to his podcast and you're just like, you're not Lawrence Taylor. I know that Skip Bayless says that you're Lawrence Taylor, but you're not. So you need to relax.
Yeah, I will say that it's, for 12 years I heard it's our year, it's our year, it's our year. This is the first year I've lived in Dallas and no one is sitting there going, dude, the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
That's probably why they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
No one's arguing it because everyone's like, everyone. You talk to all these Dallas fans, they hate Dak. They hate Dak, man. They have the Tony Romo syndrome.
Yep.
Guy can put up stats all day, but the fans don't like him.
All right. We're in a new division now.
What is their over-under?
They're over-under, and they're one of my overlocks of the year, is only 9.5.
Yeah, I'll take over.
They've gotten 12 wins the past 3 seasons. Like, just because those players aren't paid for next year doesn't mean that they're not playing this year. Now, they did lose a lot of their offensive line, so that is going to possibly be an issue. They don't have a running back because they brought back Zeke, and he is garbage. But it looks like they play the NFC South, which is garbage. So there's a bunch of easy wins. Plus, the Giants and Commanders will still suck. And then from the AFC, it looks like they play the AFC North. So that's not ideal.
Dude, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's over.
Oh, it's over. Ready? Here you go. Saints is 1. Giants is 2. Steelers is 3. Falcons is 4. Commanders 5. Giants 6. Panthers 7. Bucks 8. Eagles 9. Commanders 10. They always split with the Eagles.
It's not be a It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. You can't drop a game here.
Also, no, they can beat the Browns. I just didn't carry out anyone that. Also, they're playing the Bengals late in the season. Joe Burrow won't be playing anymore, so there's a win.
Monday Night Football.
Like I mean, I think they have it. They're a good enough team that they can win.
I mean, Zeke's back.
Zeke is back. The vibes will be good in the Cowboys locker room. All right, let's go to their arch rivals, the Eagles. The Eagles will win this division. You can go ahead and put your money on that right now because the NFC East has switched division winners for the past 20-something years. And the Cowboys won the division last year, did they not? So
did they?
I'm fairly certain they did.
I thought the Eagles did.
The Cowboys won the division at 12-5.
Okay.
Remember, the Eagles had that like historic choke.
Oh,
at the
they
end
did.
Of the season.
They did fall apart.
So the Eagles are guaranteed to win the division because it definitely won't be the Giants or the Commanders, and it can't be the Cowboys because they won last year. So actually, I was looking at this earlier, but I forgot the number. Something good happened in the Olympics. I can hear Sarah screaming from the others.
The gold
room. Yeah, we took the lead in gold medals this year, or so far.
Texas out here representing 1/3 of the medals won by the U.S.
There you go.
I think we have half of the gold medals.
The Eagles are at -125, so the odds aren't great, but still. It's like it's as they say on ESPN, it's free money.
The Eagles don't have their field general and their fearless leader.
Their offensive line is still pretty good. They lost a lot on the defensive line as well. So that's going to be their problem. But Saquon is a huge addition.
Saquon.
Even Saquon for 8 games is a huge addition. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, all great to go with Jalen Hurts. Their problem is still their secondary is Swiss cheese. So that's going to be an issue. And then kind of like the Jets, I think that their biggest problem is that their head coach is a doofus. I think Nick Sirianni is not a good coach.
Hey, you don't talk about the Italians that way. Come on now.
All right, I will find a different word besides doofus, but I would say that Nick Sirianni is not the most qualified head coach in the NFL.
All right, that's fine.
And could be their downfall. Kind of with Dallas, though, I will say that the Eagles are not a team that with Dallas, I'm feeling pretty confident about their over-under. The Eagles is probably one of my stayaways just because of the teams that they kind of have to play.
But you're looking at
their over-under's at 10.5, so I mean it's not ideal. I think that they're getting kind of the short end of the stick with some of the things because the Eagles finished second. They're playing all the second place teams from last year, but like the Ravens got second place last year, so like not
Green Bay Ravens.
Yeah. So 10.5 seems a bit on the tricky side for me with them, so I would not put money on it. But I do think the Eagles are a lock to win the division, so I would put money on that.
I agree, sir. I like their offseason.
Yeah. All right.
A whole lot better than what the Cowboys did.
It's at least been more exciting than what the Cowboys have done. But don't worry, the Cowboys are going all in.
All in, baby, all in.
Let's talk about the last 2 teams really quick because it's late and it's been a long podcast and they're terrible. The Commanders are first. They do have a new quarterback. Okay, they got Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
We're gonna see if his style works for the NFL. Surprise look ahead to this season to all of our new listeners and old listeners. He's gonna be a bust.
I like him.
It has nothing to do with him. He's in a horrible organization.
Bad team.
So my biggest question for them is, can they go this season without being the dumpster fire of the NFL? Like, is their stadium going to fall apart? Like, Jaden Daniels could get murdered by the locker room collapsing on him. Like,
that's true.
It almost happened to Jalen Hurts. And then their free agency, if you look at all the players that they added so many big names that are all very, very old.
Yeah,
So like
they added washed up players.
They didn't get better. They did what the Cardinals did a long time ago to help revenue and sell jerseys.
J.J. Watt, baby.
So yeah, they're not going to be good. Their over unders at 6.5. I'm probably going to put them with the under. Because they still got to play the AFC North, so they could lose all 4 of those games easily. They do get to play the NFC South, which is not ideal, but maybe the Bears will be good and they'll beat them. Maybe the Titans will be good. Who knows? They won't. The Titans will suck too, but I think the Commanders will be very bad, and so I think that they will not win 7 games. And with the New York Football Giants, it's the same thing. They're not going to win They're not going to win 7 games either because their over under is also 6.5. I will also probably be hammering their under. I think that they are going to have the number 2 overall pick in the draft.
The worst thing that happened to the Giants this year was Hard Knocks
and paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year.
Well, but Hard Knocks showed that they are so incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, yeah, not only did Hard Knocks show it, like everyone knows that the problem with the New York Giants is their offensive line is the worst in the league. And I've
seen better high school offensive lines.
They didn't draft a single offensive lineman.
No, they're so incompetent.
Like, it's bad. They lose Saquon and bring in Devin Singletary, I think.
Yep.
Not the same kind of production at all.
They try to make it on Hard Knocks. They try to make it like Singletary has been a staple in the league for years. And I'm like,
I mean, I like Devin Singletary as an accent back, not starter.
Your main guy. You think about Saquon has literally carried the Giants.
I mean, yeah. So much of Saquon's statistics is just like, oh, it's a blown blocking assignment, and I
blew up the linebacker.
I made a play.
Yards. Yeah.
And then with them, my question is, what week does Drew Lock start?
Dude, bring back.
No, they got Drew Lock. Drew Lock is good. He does the little weird rapping on the sideline kind of thing. Sorry, Drew Lock is not good. Drew Lock is good for the entertainment, is what I was trying to say. I think for sure that Daniel Jones will get benched at some point this year. They will go to Drew Lock because I think that they got Neighbors in the first round, and I think that they think that they'll be able to throw the ball deep, but they can't block for more than 2 seconds.
That's why you gotta put him in.
Well, I don't think he's on an NFL roster, so that's not great.
Is he not? Did they not let him stay?
Oh, though the Giants cut him for sure.
No, Tommy DeVito right there.
Did they bring him back?
He's on it.
All right, he was cut at some point, so
I was about to say you can't. He's third string.
There you go. If we see Tommy DeVito
needs to be.
I feel really bad for New York Giants fans. I'm sorry. If we see Tommy DeVito for 2 years in a row, it's not ideal. But we probably will because their quarterbacks will get hurt because they do not know how to block.
Offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah. All right.
Wide receivers, atrocious.
No, well, we'll see. It has been proven recently that rookie wide receivers can make a difference. So we'll see if Neighbors can make a difference. But since they can't block, it's going to be hard for him to make a difference.
Defense, not good.
Defense is not good.
Not good at all.
No.
Yeah, no, this team sucks.
This team sucks. And I do feel bad because I do think that Dayball is going to get hammered for it.
We missed the number one topic.
The fights.
Well, okay, first off, the fight today.
Today was insane.
It was insane. That's full hands getting thrown.
If you have not watched any of the mixed practices of the Giants fighting the Detroit Lions, it's been 3 days of carnage.
They play this week. No, that's not even what I was talking about. We missed the main talking point of the NFL right now. The kickoff is atrocious.
Oh, well, we were going to get to that in another time, but yes.
With everybody? All right. Well, pause on that thought. Come back next week. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in one of the other weeks when we don't talk about college for so long. But I was looking at the clock and
yeah, I got you.
We had already been going for an hour before we even started talking about NFL. So it's like, all right, we got to just speed it along. But
yeah, well, you got me, who's the college guy, and then you, who's the
NFL. No. I love talking about college football too. I just don't like watching it as much. I will say this: I do think that the kickoff in the NFL is a travesty. However, there are some things that I do like about it. So
it was very insulting to Devin Hester to be put in the Hall of Fame on the same night that we saw the kickoff for the first time.
That is true.
That's a punch in the dick.
So a little preview for future episodes. I will play the devil's advocate on the kickoff rule, but still, it's kind of trash. Yeah. All right. We got to get out of here. We appreciate that y'all have waited so long to listen to us again, and thank you for tuning back in. As always, remember to like, subscribe, share with people. Last year, we did not make it to our goal of 100 subscribers, so we're going to try it again. Now, we might have a solid start because we did have a viral tweet go out this week with over 1.2 million views that I did then shamelessly plug the podcast on. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get some clicks from that. But the best way is to be a friend, tell a friend, and send this podcast to somebody. And we'll see you next week. As always, we appreciate y'all and make some good choices out there.
Kick 'em, Mags.